Come along with me on day 1 of my early retirement at the age of 51. If you haven't seen my Day 0 video, make sure you save this so you can come back to it. I'll catch you up. On weekdays, I wake at 7 a.m. to get my teenage daughter up and off to high school. Even on weekends, you'll probably see me rising early since I am a creature of habit and have always been a morning person. Besides, my favorite time of day is that quiet hour or two before anyone else wakes up. I always start with making my bed, as I mean to start my day the way I start everything, with intention and setting myself up for success. Of course, the very next thing is coffee. Since I'm also on a health journey that includes a doctor-supervised weight loss plan, I have protein coffee within 1 hour of waking every day. You'll see that my whole day revolves around small, high-protein meals every 3 hours. This has helped me lose 33 pounds so far this year, though I still have a long way to go. I have been blending 1 cup of macadamia nut milk with either 2 shots of espresso or 1 cup of black coffee, adding in 1 scoop of vanilla protein powder and 1 scoop of chocolate. You can use any flavor protein you like, but this is the combo that works for me. I have this either hot or over ice, depending on the temperature outside and my mood. I usually only need the 1 cup of coffee every morning, but I really need that 1 cup. While I'm doing this, I'm keeping my eyes and ears open to make sure my daughter is getting out of bed and getting ready for school. Next, I lay out my vitamins for the day. You'll notice all of my vitamins are gummies since I've never been able to swallow large pills or capsules. I was so happy when everything became available as sugar-free gummies that are like treating yourself with candy. I split all of the supplements up into morning and night, which I take before breakfast and after dinner. This keeps them from upsetting my tummy. Why, yes, I am an adult who uses the word tummy. Today, I've also laid out some of the school supplies my daughter requested, which came in overnight. Thank goodness for Amazon. Next, I start my morning skincare routine. Since I've entered my trophy wife era, taking care of myself is a top priority. Skincare is a ritual for me, inspired by watching my mother with her elaborate skincare routines as a child. Neither of us look our age, and this is one of the reasons why. Even if I have no plans to leave the house, skincare is a non-negotiable. The first steps are gentle cleansing and exfoliation, and then layering on serums to treat specific issues. Let me know if you want a deeper dive on what I use. I'll link specific items for you, if I can. Although this video is sped up, I allow a few minutes between each step to let the products soak in. The last 2 layers are always a lightweight moisturizer, followed by a moisturizing sunscreen. Sun protection is another non-negotiable for me, whether or not I plan to leave the house or whether the sun is even out. Nothing will age your skin faster than sun exposure, and sunspots are not the look I'm going for. This morning, I had a grocery delivery, as I almost forgot that I needed a few fresh ingredients to feed myself throughout the day, even if no one else is home. Then it's time to unload the air fryer, which was going all night on the dehydrate setting to make one of our favorite snacks, apple and banana chips. I can barely keep on top of the demand, so I have to keep the dehydrator going almost day and night. My daughter prefers the homemade banana chips over store-bought, and the apple chips are like crack to me. The best part is that these are only 1 ingredient. No additional preservatives or sweeteners needed, so we have control over what goes into our bodies. This is also a great way to preserve any fruit before it goes bad. I store them in reusable jars, though they are demolished faster than we can make them. I simply slice fruit very thinly and lay them out on drying trays I purchased specifically for the air fryer. I can link any products to the caption or notes, depending on where you are seeing this. For fruit with edible skin, I always recommend leaving it on rather than peeling, as most of the nutrition is in or near the skin. The thicker the slices, the chewier the texture, but the longer the fruit takes to dry out. The thinner the slices, the faster to dry, and the crisper the texture. The more water content in the fruit, the longer it takes. Thinly sliced apples usually take about 12 hours, while bananas take up to 24. So, yesterday, I left my 30-year career in corporate America, my 6-figure salary, full benefits, annual bonus, stock grants, and the appearance of stability to focus on my health and family. I also left all the stress that comes along with trying to hold on to that job during a market and in an industry riddled with layoffs. I don't have a trust fund or even a nest egg, just a very supportive family and a lot of plans for the second half of my life. Will we run out of money, forcing me to go back to a 9-to-5 job, Will I go stir crazy after working for over 30 years without any breaks longer than 2 weeks? I never even took maternity leaves after each of my daughters were born. Or will I finally have the time and energy to launch a business of my own, allowing me the freedom of time and relatively stress-free life I've been dreaming of? Your guess is as good as mine, so place your bets now. But before you bet against me, you should know one thing. Like I said in yesterday's video, I always land on my feet. As you can see, early retirement does not mean sleeping in until noon and playing golf or gardening for me. I'm still recovering from hustle culture, so I've set myself a schedule and routine that will allow me to take care of my family and myself, as well as get started on some ambitious plans that will keep me very busy. I'll show you what my color-coded post-retirement calendar looks like in a minute, so get ready to screenshot. Where does all this come from? I've always been a highly organized, highly driven person with high executive function. If you don't know what executive function is, you will after following me for a while. It's really the key to getting things done, despite distractions. I didn't actually learn the term until my oldest daughter was diagnosed with autism, although I didn't have the term for it until that moment. I quickly came to the realization that this one concept is what sets highly productive and often successful people apart from others. And I should know. I have spent the last 11 years as an executive assistant who supports C-suite executives. Sitting at the right hand of many highly successful people has given me tremendous insight into what makes them successful and what's holding them back. I've leveraged that knowledge for myself, and now I hope to pass those learnings along to all of you. Luckily, even if executive function does not come naturally to you, it can be learned. At the very least, there are many strategies and workarounds for whatever area of executive function someone may struggle with. As you can imagine, when my retirement was announced, my phone started blowing up with questions. I think I was the last person anyone expected to leave the corporate world, and especially the company I was working for. To be fair, I love that company. It wasn't perfect. No company or job or boss ever is. I felt I had the best job working for the best boss at the best company, and yet I still wasn't happy, which told me the problem was me. If I couldn't be happy at a company like that, I'm not going to be happy at any company. I need to work for myself. Speaking of work, housework is a necessary evil, and it's something I've had to deprioritize when my plate was over full. However, that drove me crazy. As a neat freak and minimalist person, having clutter and chores left undone is very stressful for me. And if you've ever had to parent a neurodivergent child, you understand the importance of reducing visual clutter to keep overwhelm at bay. So starting the day by emptying the dishwasher and loading the dirty dishes is a good idea. If clutter and mess makes me crazy, don't even get me started on odors. Not many people know that in my early 20s, I ran a house cleaning franchise for 7 years. I had just moved to Seattle at the age of 21, and I didn't have many skills, so one of the only jobs I could get was cleaning houses for the very wealthy. Little did I know this would launch the rest of my career. Even just that life skill of learning how to clean any home thoroughly and efficiently, that systematic thinking and efficiency mindset served me well as I went on to manage that company. When my skincare has had 20 to 30 minutes to soak in, it's time for makeup and hair. I do this every day, regardless of my plans. Why? First, because I'm extremely vain. I feel no shame in admitting that. In my late teens, I was a pageant queen and model, so makeup has always been an obsession. I've gone on to become certified as a professional makeup artist, although I've never been interested in making money at it. More importantly, looking good helps me feel my most confident, and you're going to need some mega confidence to retire early. I'd love to help other people find their confidence, especially more mature women who may be experiencing a midlife crisis or who are in a transition period in either career or life. Looking and feeling your best can be a large part of that strategy, so you can be sure I will be sharing some tips in the near future. Do you have any questions about beauty or confidence, especially for my mature queens and anyone else who feels they don't conform to conventional standards of beauty? Leave a comment or reply. I'd love to feature your questions, tips, or tricks in future videos. What kind of ventures will I launch with my newfound freedom, you ask? You'll have to wait and see. What I will tell you is that I've always been a writer. I love storytelling and also teaching. I don't know about other people who reach the age of 50 and above, but I feel compelled to share my life experience and wisdom in case it can be helpful to others. I've certainly learned some things the hard way, that's for sure. Ah yes, these silver strands. My hair is probably my most distinctive feature. I'm just pulling it back today, but most days I do like to show it off. Until the pandemic, I was a brunette. I actually started going gray at the age of 18. Since then, I always colored it, at least until the pandemic shut down all the beauty salons. When that happened, I figured I'd just grow it out and see what it looked like. I'm so lucky all of this silver glory was underneath. All my gray-haired beauties should know, mature hair does require special care. It is prone to drying out, so moisture and avoiding heat as much as possible will help. I have applied an anti-frizz lightweight oil here. That saved me on my 10-day trip to extremely humid Costa Rica this summer. I also wash my hair once a week with a purple shampoo and conditioner, which keeps it from turning yellow over time. On other wash days, any moisturizing shampoo and conditioner will work, but there is no need to wash hair every day. I usually go every 2 to 3 days, but if you have color-treated hair, you can go 4 or 5 days if you use a dry shampoo in between. I'll link my products if I can, but they are also in my Amazon storefront. After getting ready for the day, I sit down for what I consider my most important hour, what I call my CEO Power Hour. That's when I do my planning. Here is a peek at my color-coded Google Calendar, so screenshot if you want or leave a comment, and if enough people are interested, I can do a deep dive into how I use the system to plan out my entire year without missing a single task. I cannot sit for over an hour without needing to get up and walk around, so I alternate sitting tasks with tasks that require me to be on my feet. You may have noticed that I even do hair and makeup while standing. Here you can catch me multitasking, folding laundry while watching an educational video and eating breakfast. Today's breakfast is homemade high-protein breakfast sausage. I do eat very small meals every 3 hours, as per my dietitian's recommendation. It keeps my energy levels consistent, and I don't mind the structure it provides my days. I also insert intentional exercise every day, alternating between strength training and walking. I am on a GLP-1 medication, so strength training is important to keep from losing muscle as well as fat. Plus, it's the only type of exercise I actually enjoy. Years of high stress have taken their toll on my heart, so I am no longer able to do high-intensity exercise. That's a long story for another time. I'll watch some TV while working out, as you see here, and I love to listen to a podcast when I'm out on walks, which I sometimes do several times a day. I often say, there are very few problems that can't be solved with hydration and a walk. Don't argue until you try it. Also, don't come for me or anyone else who takes a GLP-1 medication. It's not cheating, it's strategy and sometimes necessity. Before I could even get approved by health insurance to cover the medication, I had to follow my doctor's orders on this medically supervised weight loss program for at least 3 months. I literally cannot lose weight any other way. Anyone who tells you it's just a matter of calories in versus calories burned has oversimplified a very complex problem in a lazy and insensitive way. They are also obviously not a perimenopausal woman. The day my doctor looked me in the eyes and told me that with everything else I had stacked against me, I stood no chance of losing weight on my own, I actually broke down in tears. I finally had a professional opinion that confirmed I was not, in fact, lazy or weak. There is no shame in asking for help, as long as you are willing to follow the advice of those from whom you seek the help. In my case, it took a holistic program and a whole team of doctors to get me back on track. That included blood work, hormone replacement therapy, a dietitian, and of course, exercise. Thank goodness, I already had a great therapist on board, which would have been the very first thing I'd recommend to someone else in the same situation. I had a sleep study done, needed a CPAP machine, had some imaging and monitoring done on my heart. After a workout, it's important to get some protein, so I usually air fry a lean steak or salmon for lunch, along with a vegetable. I'll usually need another high-protein snack in the middle of the afternoon. I won't show you my other blocks of focused work throughout the day, but I alternate those with more housework, which keeps me from needing to do a big deep clean once a week or even month. As with anything, keeping a house clean is a lot easier than getting it clean once you've let it go. I guess that's not much different from anything else. I try to do a load of dishes and a load of laundry every day, and vacuum every other day, since I have allergies. Breaking things down into smaller tasks that you can tackle daily makes it easier to establish the discipline you need to form healthy habits that move you forward toward your goals. I cannot overstate the importance of stress reduction in a journey like this. It affects every aspect of your health, including your ability to sleep and your hunger and cravings. This turned out to be the #1 factor in my decision to retire early. On this particular day, my family felt like dinner out, so I was spared the task of cooking. After dinner is family relaxation time before prepping for the next day and bedtime at 10 p.m. As much as I love my routines, every day looks a little different in early retirement, so I hope you will follow along on this journey.